Hello, greetings to all of you. Dinesh Jayasinha, as a CIO of R&R Insurance PLC, I would like to do this presentation on how cloud computing can help us to build our future IT solutions. Agenda. This presentation agenda includes the introduction to the purpose of the presentation, introduction to what cloud computing is, characteristics of cloud computing, deployment models, service modules and benefits of cloud computing, financial analysis of a business case, a sensitivity analysis which I have done for 3 scenarios, and I am discussing advantages and disadvantages of cloud computing, then my conclusions and my recommendations with a list of references. The purpose of this presentation is to share the knowledge that I gathered during a seminar that I participated on cloud computing. And also I will analyze a business case with sensitivity analysis by using cloud computing. Also my proposal and recommendations on the project will be given. So what is cloud computing? In simple terms, it is a service provided by some vendors that allows us to use their services and software to store, manage and process data by using a network of remote services hosted by the internet instead of using our own servers. So this is basically what cloud computing is. There are 5 characteristics of cloud computing. The first one being on-demand self-service, where users are able to provision cloud computing resources without requiring human interaction. This is mostly done through a web-based service portal. The second one is broad network access. On this, cloud computing resources are accessible over the network, supporting heterogeneous client platforms such as mobile devices and workstations. The third one is resource pooling. They service multiple customers from the same physical resource by securely separating the resources on logical level. The third one is rapid elasticity, where resources are provisioned and released on demand and are automated based on triggers or parameters. This will make sure your application will have exactly the capacity it needs at any point of time. The final one is measured service, where resources usages are monitored, measured and reported, that is billed transparently based on utilization. In short, paid for your use only. Deployment modules of cloud computing. Basically there are 4 models. The first one being public cloud, which is managed by third-party providers. The infrastructure owned by the third-party providers themselves. Infrastructure is located off premises, accessible and consumed by untrusted sites. The second one is managed, which is called community cloud. It's managed by third-party providers. Infrastructure is owned by the third-party provider. Infrastructure located on premises, accessible and consumed by trusted and untrusted. The third one is private cloud, where it's managed by either the organization or the third-party provider. Its infrastructure is owned by either the organization or the third-party provider. Infrastructure located could be on premises or could be off premises, and accessible and consumed by only trusted sites. Hybrid cloud is a mixture of public and private cloud. It's managed by both organization and third-party provider. The infrastructure is owned by both organization and the third-party provider, and the infrastructure located could be both on premises and off premises. It's accessible and consumed by trusted and untrusted sites. There are three service modules of cloud computing. First one is software as service, which is called SaaS, where consumers can run applications in cloud, can access apps through various clients including browsers, mobile devices, etc. Main providers of this are Salesforce.com, Impulse, etc. The second service is platform as a service, where consumers get an open platform or solution stack where he or she can deploy application developed in language given by the provider. So the main providers for this are Google, Force.com, etc. The last service is infrastructure as a service, where consumers can provision computing resources, there is network, processing, storage, etc. on demand. The main service providers on this are Amazon, etc. So what are the benefits of cloud computing? There are many. Some I have identified as administration benefits, where it is easier software access, easier disaster recovery. This disaster recovery is done by them. The reduction in system admin, and rapid deployment. Cost-wise, lower capital investment is required. Fewer IT staff is needed. Transform capital expenses to operating expenses. Can develop partnerships and improve collaborations, and easier to partner with other organizations as well. The data, improve data security, with data organization, and data under my control. So this is the financial analysis I have done for a period of 6 years, and in the current year the expense, the cost of this will be 1,119,957.26 dollars, and after 6 years the net present value of that will be only $631,905.60 dollars. So that itself is good. The internal rate of return on this is 30.26, which is on the higher side, and profitability index is very high, it's 1.56. Whenever the profitability index is above 1, that is good, favorable. So here in this case it's 1.56, and the payback period is also less than 3 years, it's at 2.42. Also I have given here the draft on the present value of future net cash flows and against the net cash flow. This is a sensitivity analysis that I have done based on 3 scenarios that I have taken. The first one is the base case on top, which is in yellow, and then as scenario 1 I have taken increase in cash outflows due to unexpected overhead cost by 5%. So when there is a increase in the cash outflow, the payback period still is less than 3 years, it's at 2.48. The internal rate of return has gone down slightly, it's at 29.05. The profitability index is still high, it's at 1.53, which is good. And as scenario 2 I have taken a decrease in the cash inflows by 10%. So even when there is a decrease in the cash inflows by 10%, the payback period is still less than 3 years, it's still at 2.84, and the internal rate of return it has gone down to 22.42, but still it's good because the profitability index is still above 1, it's at 1.34, which is very good again. And in scenario 3 I have taken an increase in the cash inflows by 10%. So when there is an increase in cash inflows, the payback period has come down to 2 years, 0.11, and the internal rate of return has shot up to 37.76%. And the profitability index is very high, it's at 1.79. And all in all, I can say that the project is a very strong project. Advantages and disadvantages of cloud computing. Some advantages will be expected cost reduction in running the IT infrastructure, scalability of environment without huge outlay of CapEx, speed enhancement of overall systems, communication enhancements between user groups and systems, built-in disaster recovery capabilities and expertise, ease of use and access, better alignment of IT resources, product licenses are automatically maintained, productive cost modeling for a growing organization. The disadvantages will be organizational changes are needed for adapting the new technology. Vendor relationship management is required. Less control over business assets. Security, privacy, legal compliance is difficult. Physical location of the hardware and software is unknown. It requires internet connection always and requires data backup on a secure server. Requires higher bandwidth which can increase costs and also can negatively affect application performance. So as conclusion, I would like to say that cloud computing will enable us to streamline lengthy procurement processes. It will also increase profitability by improving resource utilization. Costs are driven down by delivering appropriate resources only for the time those resources will be used or needed. The main concerns for me will be we do not have control over the physical assets, and therefore there will be concerns over managing security, privacy, legal compliance difficulties. Therefore, before coming to a conclusion, we should develop our policies to meet with the present requirements. We should opt for a private cloud and develop our own securities and controls. And we should select the correct vendor and budget for this investment well before. So this is my final slide, the list of preferences. I hope you gathered the knowledge that is required. Thank you so much.